They've been able to get these deals done. You know, the sky was falling when the Bucs win the Super Bowl and they're able to re-sign all their guys back. The sky is falling. They're able once again to re-sign all their guys. The sky is falling with Levante David and Jamel Dean supposedly going somewhere else, and they re-sign them. So I think this is where you have faith in Jason Light and Mike Greenberg and Jacqueline Davidson over there, because they know what they're doing. And Bucs fans, just sit back, relax, put your seatbelt on because the rumors will be flying about Mike Evans supposedly going to those places that I mentioned in Kansas City, Houston, even the Chicago Bears. But at the end of the day, my prediction right now, it is a lock. Baker Mayfield will come back. Mike Evans will come back. Antoine Winfield will come back. Tristan Wirfs will come back. Levante David will come back. This organization and the administration knows what the hell they're doing. Just sit back and relax. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Monday night. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. And how do we start off this show as we do usually on a Monday, Wednesday night? You never know when there's breaking news. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have Mr. Rock Riley of the podcast, The Rock Stops Here, talking what else about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they've been signing player after player after player. Do you Bucs fans have faith? I know I do. Oh, by the way, Mike Evans, thanks a lot once again for restructuring your deal. I mean, come on. And I'll tell you right now, I'll make this point right now, and I'll get back to it in a moment, that Mike Evans could go down as the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer in their history. And I'll go ahead and present that. I definitely want to hear from you tonight. Of course, we'll have the Greek himself, Harry the Greek, my co-host, getting on because Justin Fields has been traded. And a lot of Bears fans are not very happy. USF being left out of the tournament. Was that correct? Rays starting up, Lightning playing well, all that and more. Phone lines are open as always. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So without further ado, let's get the man on. I seen him at the press conference, laughing with him, joking with him. We got a little inside joke going on there during the Baker Mayfield press conference with Jason Light. I want to go out to him. The Rock Stops Here podcast, Tampa Bay Free Press, I believe, and also Joe Bucs fan. Let me go out to Mr. Rock Riley. Welcome to the evolution, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. And you, Peter?
I'm doing great. Getting ready to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and making all these moves, and I got to start out with that. But before we get to that, I got to get my co-host on here, Mr. Greek himself. Here's his intro. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show, Mr. Harry the Greek, of course, representing what else? Wearing his Bears shirt.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize it.
Yes, well, happy birthday to Mrs. Greek there. Happy birthday to her.
Yep. It is Jamie's birthday today. Rock, how are you, brother? It's been a long time, way too long, sir. How you doing?
It has. Everything is good, man. A good time of year. I love spring training. You got March Madness. Playoffs are going to be starting with the Lightning. And there's always football. There's always NFL news. So it's all good.
Rock, I got to tell you, man, for years and years and years, I've been a fan. Followed you. I can't tell you. I mean, I could have been a stalker. You just never know.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Harry. I appreciate it.
All right, let's get down to it. How surprised were you that not only the Bucs were able to re-sign a Mike Evans before free agency, but also Baker Mayfield will start there? And then on top of it, we learned the other night that Mike Evans once again has restructured his contract. I get it, everybody. He gets the money up front, but once again, offering flexibility to the Bucs.
Because he wants to win. He wants to win a ring. And he saw what Brady had done over the years. I mean, if he wanted the big contract, he got a good contract. He's happy. We all found out that it was his wife that actually said, "Hey, babe, why don't we stay in Tampa?" And that's when he got on the phone and said, "Let's get it done. Let's do it." Sometimes when you have a tough decision and you're going back and forth and you can't make a decision, and sometimes it's just one little thing. A lot of times it's the wife. And the wife says, "Let's say, you know what? We got a good deal here." But also, when we were at that press conference and I asked Baker Mayfield, I said, "Did you know that Mike Evans was coming back?" And he said, "No, I didn't at the time, but I think he had to have an inkling." You know what I mean? And I think Mike Evans had to have an inkling that they were going to get it done with Baker Mayfield, because a lot of times we would ask Evans over the years, well, what about this quarterback here? And he'd be like, "He's an NFL quarterback." That's what he would say for lower guys. Of course, when it was Brady, it was different. And then he started getting on the same page with Baker Mayfield. And he's like, "I didn't know what he was like until he came here. I really like him." And so all in all, I think, that was the big one. Getting Evans, and then you get Baker Mayfield.
And I put it out there with Evans. I think he could go down as the greatest Buccaneer of all time. And this is why, Rock, because not only what he does on the field consistently with the 1,000-yard seasons of receiving with different quarterbacks, because he's never had, per se, a Tom Brady for the majority of his career. He's always had different quarterbacks. But furthermore, what he does in the community, and then on top of that, once again, doing a restructure, like he really does care. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I think he surpasses Jerry Rice, and I think he could definitely make the case. I get it. Brooks, you covered Brooks, you covered Rondé Barber and John Lynch, but could you make the case, in your opinion, Rock, that Mike Evans will go down as not only a great Buccaneer, but possibly the greatest Buccaneer of all time for not only his accomplishments on the field, but off of them?
Yes, but I will tell you this. When it all comes down to it, you guys both know, it's about business. Yes, Mike Evans is friends with Jason Light. Their families are pretty close. Yes, he does so much for the community. That's wonderful. That adds to it. But what it comes down to is he not only did not lose a step, he actually probably had his best year last year at that age. That's what it comes down to. It was like, if he had already started declining because he's in his 30s now, then it would be great what he did with the community. He wouldn't have been getting this big contract. That's what it comes down to, that he showed no signs of slowing down. And when he was asked, what are you going to try to do this offseason? How are you going to try to be better? He said the last 5 years is when he really paid attention to nutrition, what he did with his workouts. He's always been in great shape. And he goes, I got to get even in better shape. You got to do that when you get older. That's what happens. And I believe he will do that. So that's what it comes down to. He was so darn productive last year.
Harry, go ahead.
I got to tell you, I think he's the greatest offensive player of all time in regards to Mike Evans. But as the greatest player ever in a Tampa Bay uniform, God, there's so many great ones, man. I mean, from Warren Sapp to John Lynch to Mike Allstott, Doug Williams. I mean, and Lord forgive me, Steve DeBerg. I mean, why is he always getting thrown out of this? I mean, the teams that he had to endure throughout there, Jimmy Giles. What about the other running back, Eric Rett? Who else was there, Rock?
No, that was good. You pretty much have everybody. Warwick Dunn, but Warwick Dunn wasn't quite on that level. He was good.
Warwick Dunn was great for the community. My God, has there ever been anybody that has ever done so much? Habitat for Humanity, I think, is what it was. I mean, it's just just the things that he has done. I'll tell you what, I'm only half the man that little guy was. I'll tell you that, because the amount of money that he has spent, the families that he has put in. But man, we're talking about the greatest Buccaneer of all time. He's got to be top 5, man. He really does.
And look, coming too, of course.
You know what? Harry's got a good point there. Like Warwick Dunn, I saw him at Super Bowl week. I was out in Vegas for the entire week, and He was doing some interviews with Sirius XM. They have like their 4 different shows. And he came down, he saw me, and I had saw him at Rondé Barber's party at Canton. And we was joking around. Everybody was in such a good mood, but this was at Super Bowl week. So I said, hey, you got a couple minutes? Sure, I do. I'm talking to him. And he has it started out with single moms. He wanted to put them in new homes, and then he expanded it. Now he in the Atlanta area, he is actually building communities. How about that? For those that normally wouldn't be able to do it. And he was really focused when he was talking. Incredible. You're right, Harry. Just an incredible human being.
What he did for single mothers and just people in general, it's.
Well, you know the story about him. Of course, he had to take care of his family after his mother was, fatally, tragically shot.
No, didn't know that.
She was a policewoman in Louisiana,
Correct.
and he had to grow up fast. He had all these siblings. He had to basically run the household.
Yeah.
He never would. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing that as a teenager? Seriously?
No.
Well,
no.
Right. I mean, these days, I don't know. I have, some doubts about this generation, but I tend to be more optimistic than pessimistic. We're on with Rock Riley of the Rock Stops Here podcast. I mean, talk about this podcast that you got. We'll get back to the Bucs. So what kind of guests you have on? Hogan, I mean, Ric Flair. Talk about it, Rock. Tell them.
Woo! Yeah, I tell you what I'll do is I've had a whole bunch of guests and I get big names. I'm very, very fortunate. I get out there in the field and try to do it. I just have on now. There's going to be a new one tomorrow, but the one that's running right now, Jim McMahon, the former Bears quarterback. Yes.
Oh, right.
Now, I will tell you this. I was always a huge McMahon fan. Still am. And I saw him 2 years ago at the Super Bowl. He's tight with Kyle Turley, and they have this medical marijuana. They have a strain. They were in the forefront of that before it became legal and popular now. And he was in a wheelchair. And it was like, oh, man. And then I saw him at this Super Bowl in Vegas, same thing in the wheelchair. He just didn't, he had the shades on, but he didn't seem like he was happy.
Yeah.
So I was at John Daly's Legends Celebrity Golf Tour. They had their inaugural thing at TPC, and they had the party the night before at Hard Rock. And I saw him there. And I'm like, man, I just saw him 2 weeks ago. I got to get him. So he was eating, never want to bother him. And I said, hey, Jim, I know you're eating, but when you're done, you have 5 minutes. My name is Rock Riley. I've been doing sports here in Tampa Bay, just on all your success. He's like, yeah, sure. So he was all done and was walking around. And it looked like he was leaving early, but he had a cane. He was actually like at least shuffling with a cane. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, Jim, now. And he's like, okay. And after I did it, I came home and I told my wife, I was driving home. I was like so bummed. He basically, I said, how's it going, man? And, you were in a wheelchair 2 weeks ago. At least you're in a cane. You're doing better. And he's like, I got this disease in his foot. It's been years. I'd be better off if they just cut the damn thing off. I'm sick of it. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm sorry, man. I know you get better. How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. What about football, man? What do you think? The game has changed. For quarterbacks now, it's offensive.
He don't even watch it.
That's what he said.
I know that.
He goes, I hate football. He goes, I haven't watched it in 25 years.
He tells you that, but he actually does watch it. And the reason why he tells you that, because he wants to get the reaction, Rock. When you do interview him, I got to tell you, man, there's a story about Jim McMahon. Bring us to a three-way.
Yeah.
So he can see this, because I love watching Rock when I start talking about this. I still have the original Sports Illustrated article. Listen to this. When he got drafted by the Bears, Rock, check this out. You can even ask him this because he'll just start chuckling. When they sent the limo to O'Hare Airport to go pick him up, it was Buddy Ryan, Mike Ditka standing to the left. It was the McCaskies. It was Papa Bear Hallis sitting behind his desk. And you have to understand, Hallis Hall has these big picture windows, and here he sees.
I've been there. Yeah, been there.
He gets out of the limo, Rock. He's wearing a pair of worn-out jeans with holes in them, and he's got a little Playmate cooler about yay big. He's got his shades on. He sits down in front of Hallis, doesn't say hello to anybody, He leans over, he grabs a Budweiser, listen, opens it up, the can. You remember the cans you used to have to pull off the part? Puts it up there, puts his feet up on the desk, lights up a stogie. Ditka's like this. And George Hallis looks at him and goes, "You're not here to impress anybody." End quote. You ready? Fuck no, I'm just here to play football.
Oh my God.
So during his negotiations, Rock, this is how he's trying to get him to sign it. And he goes, "Well, you know, Jim, when you're 15 years old, you got your eye poked out, you're colorblind and half blind out of one, you got a bum kidney, your knee's been hurt." And Jim's going, "Man, if I'm so bad, what the hell did you draft me for?" Okay. But those are true stories. You want to ask him things about, hey, what was it like the first time you met him? Get him to talk about that. It'll blow your mind. Your show will go on for so long, it's not even funny.
Oh.
But it's really sad what he's going through right now. He has to have reminders on his phone on where he's at sometimes. He also is suffering, I believe, personally from CTE, because his wife will have to send messages when he goes to the grocery store. He's like, "Hey, man, what's up?
Wow.
Where am I?" It's that bad.
Wow.
And by the way, he still golfs barefoot.
See, I wasn't able to go the next day, and he did show up, but I didn't see him. Does he really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He did say he's friends with Andy Reid. He goes, "Now and then I got a friend, you know, I'm tight with Andy Reid. I've known him from a long time, so I was pulling for him, but that was it as far as football."
No, he still watches them. He's still very critical. He'll tell you that he doesn't watch the game. He does.
Okay.
He does. He actually does watch the game. But that is a really cool story. That might be a good opener for you, especially when you start talking, "Hey, man, can you bring us back to when you were drafted?" Because people don't realize, do you know who backed him up? Anybody? Over in BYU? Anybody?
Was it Steve Young?
It was Steve Young. Jim McMahon was the most prolific college passer. And if you look at his stats in the 80s, some actually say, because of his winning percentage when he started, could go down as a top 3 quarterback of all time ever to play this game. You and I and Rock all know that's not the case.
Right.
But statistically, for his win percentage, he's top 3. There was a time he lost 3 ball games, won 30. Just think about that for a second.
Peter, I think he could just keep going on about Jim McMahon for the whole hour. I didn't realize that much. I didn't know. I'm telling
you, he could. And speaking of McMahon, can we compare Baker Mayfield to that type of
very similar?
You know, and even Jason Light admitted in the press conference, you know, he's a prick, and
oh my God, I couldn't believe that I heard that.
And Baker said, "Thank you." I mean, is that the sense you get with Baker? I mean, total 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, including the postseason. He's not athletically gifted, if you will. He'll take off on 3rd or 4th down. He's gritty. There were times last year we were in the press box together, and I said, as crazy as this sounds, Rock, I'm ready to see Kyle Trask. And then all of a sudden, Baker hits a big play, and I guess it's that Carolina game versus Mike Evans, and he's able to stay in there. Do you have that comparison with the Baker Mayfield? And are you comfortable, in your opinion, with the Bucs re-signing him? And do you think he can be more consistent in the next couple of years with this new contract from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Again, it's not just him. So it depends on the offensive line.
Yeah.
They did a decent job, but you can see they already let a couple of guys go, including their starter. So they brought in 2 free agents. We're going to see. One's a good run blocker. The other one has very, very short arms. But that's a concern. You got a new offensive coordinator. Now, I know Liam Cohen, and I talked to him a little bit at the press conference. Yes, it's a similar offense. They got to start, and you were there with Bowles when we got him over on the stage. He's like, "You're starting from square one again, though." Yeah. It's new terminology. That's how you gotta go. Baker does know. He knows tendencies. He knows Evans now. He knows Godwin. Liam Cohen said the guy that impressed him the most was the young tight end, Cade Otton, who played 95% of the snaps. I was kind of surprised about that. But again, it's going to be a new offense. So we'll see. We'll see. When you break down the deal, I know it's 3 years, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed. It's really a 2-year deal. And if he craps the bed and he regresses, they'll get rid of him after 2. It won't hamstrung them too bad in this day and age for a starting quarterback. But I don't think that's going to be the case. He's healthy. He's already been working out. He's been going over to one Buck. He's really tight with Tristan Wirfs. He's really happy. He's putting down roots here. They're having their baby. The kid's going to grow up in Tampa Bay. So a lot of that takes a lot of stress off. So I think he's in a good spot. And he knew that. He knew that because the organization opened arms him and the teammates. When you see it, even when they had that stretch, man, when they were losing, remember that? Nobody turned in the locker room. They were all behind him. When you see him, he's over at that locker. When you first come in the locker room, where Brady was, we never saw Brady. He was so busy doing all of his things. He never came in there. So, and a lot of the guys, he hangs out. They like him. He is tough. Yes. I think he's got to get a little bit better on the deep ball. You got to be able to make better completions on the deep ball. So all in all, what was out there, I think it was a good move for both the Bucs and a good move for Baker Mayfield.
With that being said, bringing back Levante David, you could definitely consider him one of the greats. That was a great move. And then also Jordan Whitehead. What did you think about that? Because that was kind of under the radar. But here's a safety rock that, look, he went to the Jets for a little bit more money. The Bucs wanted to keep him. They weren't able to. They're able to bring him back. Ever since they let him go, that safety position has been lacking. So now you put him next to, most likely, if not the best safety in the league, and Winfield Jr., who eventually you're going to get a chance to re-sign. What did you think of the Whitehead move?
That was huge because I know for a fact when they let him go, I know inside one Buck, they were like, damn, what we got isn't close to what we had with Whitehead. And he was known as a thumper, all right? And he goes to the Jets. And then when we talked to him last week, he's like, he's only 27. So it's not like he's over the hill. And he said, I'm better now because going up against Aaron Rodgers in practice with the Jets has made me better. I am smarter. He's always in great shape. That's what he's known for. And it's funny. He said when Antoine Winfield came in, he kind of took him under his wing and was showing him things. And he said now he is the star of this defense and around the league. Everybody has been talking about Antoine Winfield. So that was a big, big move. I think that's the most underrated move that the Buccaneers made. It's funny because on my Rock Stop Share podcast, the new one that comes out tomorrow, my one topic is, can you go back? Can you go back to where you used to live? Can you go back to where maybe a gig that you used to have? 9 times out of 10, you can. Joe Madden was with the Angels organization for 30-some years as a minor league catcher. He worked his way up all the way to bench coach. He goes to the Rays. He turns it around. He goes to Chicago, the Cubs. He wins it all. He has one last shot. He goes to the Angels, and then he told me it wasn't the same. He was there 32 years. Sometimes it's not the same, but there are always exceptions. And I think this is the exception of Whitehead coming back as even a better player. I think it's a win, big win.
I think it's a huge win, and I love it for this defense, especially that back end. And you kind of wonder now because Carlton Davis gets traded for a third-round pick. Were you surprised by that? And it certainly seems like from Bowles' comments that Zion McCollum is going to be your future starter. Do you buy that, or do you still think that's a possible need with acquiring that third-round pick if there's somebody on the board that the Bucs may trade up, or they sit there at 26 and find the best cornerback? Or where would you go right now? And I know we're in March and almost into April, but where does Rock Riley go if he's the general manager of the Bucs in April at 26?
I would go edge. There's a stud edge at 26. I think that you got to get that from the outside. I know Shaq Barrett did his press conference and he said I got a fire lit under me. They let me go. They're going to see, talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he gave all he could. He came back from the Achilles. He was never going to be as good. He lost his daughter and all that. And thank God they had a new baby, so all prayers to them, but I would go edge. And it's funny. You're right, Peter. They're saying now, Zion McCollum. I mean, that was asked. I think it was Peter Reports. Scott Reynolds asked him. They got to say that right now.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, before they got Brady, it was all, it was this year. It was the offseason. It was just Kyle Trask. Remember when they had the new offensive coordinator came from Seattle, and it's like, you only got Kyle Trask. Oh, Kyle Trask. And I remember going to the NFL Combine, and Bruce Arians had not retired yet, and he was like, "Oh, it's Kyle Trask. Oh, he's come a long way. Oh, we're confident with Kyle Trask." And I was like, "Boy, Trask is your only guy." Then when they had that press conference for Ring of Honor for Bruce Arians, and he was up there, I said, "Bruce, do you remember at the combine you kept bragging about Trask?" And he goes, I had to be confident. So of course they're going to say that now, but there is, like you said, Peter, there's a lot of time between now and training camp.
There is, and I know that Harry wants to talk about Justin Fields, so we'll get to that in a moment. But speaking
let's talk
of
Tampa,
well,
good.
no, because that's the draft right now, so it starts at number 1. But let's talk about Kyle Trask. Where do you see him? You're close to the organization. Do you think they still have confidence in him, or could they look at a Michael Penix Jr., who's a local kid out of Dade City, and if he's there at 26, are you tempted to run to the podium and get possibly your quarterback of the future? Because everything, just my opinion, everything I've seen from this Bucs organization, they've had every opportunity to start Kyle Trask, and they have not done that. So I think if they draft a quarterback coming up here, they've turned the page. What do you say?
I don't think Penix is going to last until 26. A lot of teams need quarterbacks. I know he looked bad in that big game, but other than that, what he has done, the release, how the ball that he throws, the recognition, Orlovsky was bragging about him the other day. So Peter, I don't think he's going to be there by 26. And
I gotta second that, and I'll tell you why, Rock.
go ahead.
There's a lot of reports coming out of Minnesota. They're going to grab him. That's why they did what they did. They didn't want to re-sign Cousins. I thought I was delusional at first that Tampa Bay may have had a chance of getting their local kid. But let's be honest, he's 26 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 2 or 3 different injuries, got a major knee injury one time from before. But I'll tell you what, man, that throw against Texas, that was a thing of beauty. The only knock on this kid, Rock, is every time he throws with pressure, you'll see him duck his head. Throws the ball, ducks his head. I mean, it's usually, man, the NFL's a little bit faster. It's the only thing I'm apprehensive on him about. But boy, wouldn't that be something if he actually did fall to them?
It would be.
I don't see it though.
Yeah, I don't see it. His agent blew me off. I was like, "Oh, come on, I'm from Tampa Bay." Oh, he doesn't have time for you. I'm like, "Really, man? Come on." He's walking around doing everybody big time.
Someone didn't. Hold on, he didn't have time for the Rock.
I said, "Come on, man, I'm Tampa Bay. 5 minutes, 5 minutes." The agent goes, "No, man, no time for you." He's only going on big national shows. I'm like, "Oh my god, man." Yeah.
Are you serious?
Hey, that's fine. Yeah. That's how it goes. Can't let it go personal.
What's he think? He's Caleb Williams?
Let's
I don't even start there.
Let's go there. What's your confidence in a Williams? A lot of people said he paints his nails, he's crying, he's emotional, but he's won there. See, he didn't beat Penix Jr. Kind of had, his team had a down year. Where do you lie on him? Because some people say he could be a bust. Others say he could be the next Patrick Mahomes. And then, of course, the Bears decide to get rid of Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick. Rock,
slow down. Don't have to ask Rock about this. They gave him away for a 6th-round pick if he doesn't play. He's going to more than likely pay. They're going to get a 4th-round pick. But let me be clear when I tell you this.
Yeah.
The Bears turned down different offers for this young man because he wanted to go to Pittsburgh, and they did right by him. So all the people that are watching the show that are Chicago fans, don't knock the organization for doing something that they didn't have to do.
Well,
they could have got a 3rd rounder. There were reports out of Atlanta that they actually offered more, and Chicago said, "Nope, we want another player with it."
Did he really do him right? I mean, couldn't he got him traded? Because every quarterback job gets scooped up there, Rob.
Listen, man, they have to get rid of him. He was never this head coach's quarterback. That's been the problem since after Cutler. After Cutler, at least Lovie Smith brought Cutler in, okay?
Right.
Because when he came over from Denver. But when they got a hold of Mitch Trubisky and Napoleon Dynamite here from Tampa Bay, and then you had the John Fox, the John Fox era from Trestman, the Fox, and then to Nagy, and then it just went on and on. None of these head coaches had their quarterback. The only thing the Chicago Bears organization did was save face. They had to get rid of Justin Fields. But let's be real. He's a hell of a talent. But the problem with JF1, it's really simple. Doesn't know how to win the big game. Turn the ball over in the fourth quarter all the time. They lost so many close games the past 2 years. It's not even funny. Believe it or not, guys, this team is built to win. This defense was number 1 against the run last year, and it has the projection of being a top 5. And then they addressed everything on offense. I don't care who you plug behind center on this team, the way they run the football. But if they didn't get rid of Justin Fields this year and pass up on a generational talent that people are saying with Caleb Williams, the city would riot. Are you kidding me? After what happened with Patrick Mahomes? Rock, you got to agree with that.
You know the Bears way better than we do. So you know I take what you're saying. The only thing is, I saw Jeff Darlington. I saw 2 people that are Bears beat reporters that are there all the time. They were just kind of questioning if they would have held on to him a little longer and you get an injury. Once camp goes down or something, you're going to get a lot more for him. But I guess they just wanted to cut bait now. Do you think that's it? They didn't even want to wait to try to get more?
No. They actually had offers. And let me tell you something. And I got some pretty good sources, as you remember when you and I were talking last time back in the Brady era from here. But I'll tell you what, they were offered a number 2 for Justin Fields. But the Bears got greedy and wanted a player, and Atlanta went, nah, we're not going that way. We're going to go Kirk Cousins. The Raiders were in play. The Broncos were in play. They were offered a lot for him. It wasn't the fact that he wasn't worth anything and they thought his draft stock left. It's they were really trying to work with Justin Fields. That's why he ended up going to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh knew that the Bears were in desperation mode. And that was it. But you know what? This could be still be a smokescreen. They may still not keep the first overall pick just to grab more picks. Because if I'm not mistaken, they only got 4 draft picks, and 2 of them are in the first round.
Well, it's true, and there was 4 teams that polls supposedly turned down that were interested in Fields. More than likely,
But Atlanta was the biggest one, by the way. Even Minnesota offered.
Right.
For them, but they were not trading him in the division. Justin Fields has the best chance to start this year, no later than next year.
Well, and the report is that he's just going to learn under Russell Wilson. That was put out there by ESPN. We'll see if that transpires because Wilson's up there in age, and he's definitely shown that age the last couple of years. With that being said, Caleb Williams, Rock, how do you see him? Do you see him as a generational talent? You've covered this sport for a long time. Do you see the it factor in him, or do you think there is a possibility with the attitude, with all the other stuff off the field, that he could be a bust?
Hey guys, I'm going to pull back for a second, check something. I'll come right back. I lost the audio here. So, hearing you guys. So I'll be right back.
All right. There you go. So he'll get out of here.
That was probably a blessing.
Why is that?
It was probably a blessing. He doesn't have to hear us.
You have to hear you. Nobody wants to hear you.
This guy sucks.
I tell you what.
Stop it.
Let's go out to the comments here. Let's go out to Roger first. All right. You're the first or last.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge you. There you go. Let's go out to Drake. Both my favorite Buccaneer players, both named Mike. I believe that's
Allstott.
Evans. It's out there, Bucs fans. Open phone lines if you want to talk about it. Is Mike Evans the greatest Buccaneer of all time? Throwing it out there. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 because of all the restructures. And I get it. You know, people are like, well, Keenan Allen was asked to do a pay cut. And I said, you know what? Evans
he was. Great point.
The agency. He has taken less throughout his career. Has he gotten the money with the restructures? Absolutely. But the point is, when the organization went to Allen and said, hey, we want you to do something for us, he basically said, pound sand, and they traded him to the Bears. That hasn't happened with this organization. That's why I continue to say, you know, appreciate Jason Light and this brain trust. Appreciate the era of Evans and Godwin because they're 2 number 1 wide receivers who could go to any team, but because they don't have that diva mentality and they're opening it up. Let me go back out to Rock here, and then we'll get out to this phone call. Rock, I want to take a phone call with you here.
Sure.
Welcome
Sounds
back.
good.
Let's go out to the tribal troll here, Roger Shue, who's a big-time
God.
Bears fan. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What do you got to say?
Caleb Williams is my quarterback.
Just like Justin Fields was your quarterback a couple years ago.
No,
right?
that was Rex. Rex is my
Rex
quarterback.
is my quarterback.
All right, Lovey Smith. Why is he your quarterback?
Generational talent.
Generational talent, Rock. Is that what you see with him?
I will tell you this. I was talking to one scout, and he was telling me that Williams can do things like a Patrick Mahomes. Look, I am not comparing him to Mahomes, but I was saying all the same things you guys. You know what I mean? Oh, my God, is he soft? I know he was crying. Oh, he's making demands. Is that from the agent? Is he think that he's too big? But this scout was telling me, wait till you see how good he is going to be. So, again, that's coming from an NFL scout.
Well, there you go. I mean, and that's the reason why we got
true.
the man on here. And, I think there's a lot of NFL scouts that would agree. So what else, Roger?
Mr. Riley, I've been watching you for years. I'm a huge fan. Thank you for being on the Sports Web, and it's a pleasure.
Sounds
Thank you, my
familiar,
man.
doesn't it?
Appreciate it.
There you go. All right. So checks in the mail right there, Rock. Let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit. USF, phenomenal season, but they're left out of the tournament. Was this the right thing they do? I was talking to one of our colleagues, Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, former coach scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports, and he said it was ridiculous. Even though the net is low and everything like that, they still won the AAC conference in the regular season. Do they have a gripe here for not being in the big tournament?
If you honestly look at what they're supposed to be doing, following the Ken Palm strength of schedule, breaking it all down, they fell short. Great story. But then again, there were some teams that also got screwed that were even higher in all those categories. St. John's is one right there. Then USF. So the way I look at it is, it was an unbelievable year. He turned it around. Now use that as your chip on your shoulder. Go out, play in the NIT, make noise. Try to win the damn thing. It's going to start the rivalry game. And I know you had a better record. Now you got to play on the road at UCF. But you know what? Look at UAB. Look at what happened to them last year. Look at where they are right now. So Leo he's rose-colored glasses. I mean, he's all USF. I know. Oh my God. I mean, so that's
Rose,
Leo.
You mean green-colored glasses?
That's
green
Leo.
and gold.
Green. Right. Hey, we're coming off of St. Patty's Day, so that he can have his opinion. But no, it was a great story. It was a great story. How long is this guy going to be around? You know, he's going to be getting offers if he has a second season as good, if not better, and continues on this path. So great year. And make some noise. Make
Rock,
some noise.
if this team would have made the big dance this year, he was gone next year. I mean, he's going to a bigger market. Let's be real. But I'll tell you what, they had to beat UAB to even get considered to make it to the tournament. And even if they did beat UAB and they fell short, guess what? I still don't think they make it. Look at all these other teams that got knocked out, Peter. I mean, they had to beat UAB. They didn't get screwed. They screwed themselves on this one, honestly. It was a great story. What a great organization. This team has never, ever once been ranked in the top 25. My hats are off to USF. I had a really good time out there, covering the game, with you guys, and it was just a lot of fun. But screwed, I would have liked to have seen a minute because I think they could have made some noise, but no, they didn't get screwed. They had to beat UAB to even be considered, Peter.
Yeah, it's true. They definitely had to beat UAB. I want to switch gears also because, Rock, I've been seeing some posts from you. You're not only a wrestling fan, which is a great thing, which will scare Harry away. Harry will basically.
Rock? Are you really?
I haven't followed it as much now,
okay,
but
good.
I like
my wrestling is Dick the Bruiser, and who's the other guy?
There you go.
Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, but of course you got The Rock and Seth Rollins.
Cody Rhodes, is that Dusty's son or grandson?
It is. Cody Rhodes is a Dusty's son. So how interested are you in that to see Cody versus Roman? And is it Cody's time to finish the story?
I like Cody Rhodes. He came in with his brother Dusty, and they did an interview with me one time. They could not have been nicer. You know what? I honestly, Peter, I haven't been following it as closely
Uh-huh.
as I should have. I'm actually more following Mike Tyson and Jake
Oh
Paul
my God, I'm
Oh,
than
glad
I
you
am.
brought that
Yeah.
up.
'cause
I talked.
you know my history on this. You know
I
that he gave me a Rolex. So I gotta ask you, Mike Tyson's 58 years old. There's been, some rumors of rules where they're gonna wear headgear and bigger gloves.
That ain't happening. They're not going to wear head. They won't wear headgear. You won't.
How
Oh my
interested
God.
are you in this fight? And if Jake Paul does
Oh
knock
yeah.
out Mike Tyson,
What?
do you finally think he'll get the respect that he deserves? Because listen, I get it. He hasn't been fighting a lot of great fighters, a lot of great boxers, but Mike Tyson, even at 58 years old, Tyson
Peter,
lost.
I gotta chime in here.
Yeah, go ahead, chime in.
Okay, first off, the only thing that Jake Paul is going to do, he's in a lose-lose situation here. Because if he beats him, he beat up on an old man. But
He's
let me
right.
be really clear. Okay. That's not happening. I've watched both these trainers, okay? And I'll tell you what, I talked to an absolute boxing savant, Chicago's very own David Schuster. Hi,
Mm.
David. I know you're watching sometimes. Great sports columnist, and he's an absolute savant when it comes to boxing. I says, Dave, how in the world can Jake Paul get into the ring with him? And he goes, Harry, I'm telling you now, there's got to be some sort of gimmick. That's the way he's thinking it's going to be. Uh, because he says, look, Jake Paul's a lot younger, and he even has to agree. If Tyson hits him, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt really bad. I mean, have you been watching? I mean, I no disrespect. I understand you got your Rolex from there, but I'm telling you now, anybody that wants to put money on this fight, if it's a legitimate, real fight, I'll take your action, and I will give you 5-1 on your money. Tyson will wreck this guy. Are you serious? Is he going to finally get recognition? No, because he beat up on a 57, 58-year-old man, Pete. But he's
But,
not
but,
going
but
to, I assure you of that.
that's not fair though, because you're gonna be critical of him. You're gonna say he's a joke if he doesn't beat Tyson, but then if he beats Tyson, well, Tyson's too old. So that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
He's in a lose-lose situation. But
All right.
I got to listen, man. I got to tell you, man, I don't see
I'm thinking I'm gonna have his trainer on. I think we're gonna work on
that.
trying to
That would be great. That's
have his
not a
trainer
day
on.
you want me to ask him questions.
Well, that's okay. You can ask those questions, and I'm going to ask Rock the question. And his manager said this when I interviewed him. The most dangerous version of Paul is after the fight. So, he's had 2 fights now, 2 round 1 knockouts. Can he do the same to Tyson, or do you think it goes longer? Because the last time Tyson fought, he got TKO'd, and I didn't remember this in 2005. He wasn't the same fighter. He didn't have
Yeah,
the
he's
stamina.
he's in better shape 20 years later. I kind of dude, his thighs, they look like boulders. He is so strong from the waist down, it's not even funny. And he's just as fast. Have you not been watching his training
I've been
videos?
watching. Rock, what do you say?
Rock, just end this. Who wins
Well,
this fight?
here's the thing. Tyson is going. He is going to have to nail him in the first or the second round
Yeah, he ain't gonna
because
go long.
58 years old is 58.
Yep.
You can look great in the gym. Yes, I've seen the videos. You hear what Chael Sonnen said. We're seeing clips of 30 seconds, 1 minute. But as the rounds go on, 58 is 58. 27, or was he 27 or 26 years old, 26, 27. He's got the best trainers around. His cardio, he's not going to be tired. So, look, I think everybody, Dan Raphael, who's a longtime boxing reporter, writer, he used to be for ESPN for years.
Sure.
He thinks this is going to be the biggest watched fight because it's on Netflix and so many people want to see Jake Paul get knocked down, get knocked out. Also, so many of us want to see Tyson and think that it was like 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we remember. And when we see these videos of 30 seconds or 45 seconds, he does have the power. Oh my God, like that's the last thing that you're going to lose. And then when I saw that face off, and then I've seen 1 or 2 videos of Jake Paul, honestly, I think Jake Paul, this is the first one. He's a big troll. I think he's like, whoa, like does like, whoa, this is the baddest man on the planet. If I get hit, if I'm open, he's going to, lights out. I
Rock,
remember
he is going to pound him so hard. The
it'll
first
be
time
early,
Paul,
though.
the first time Paul comes with the cross and he ducks, and that midsection's open, it's going to be like chopping a tree down. Except it's going to take 2 shots. Peter, I'm telling you, man, if this is a legit fight, it's going to hurt. And anybody remember Kendall Gill, former basketball player for the
Yeah,
Chicago
sure.
Bulls, and he played around the NBA?
Yes.
The
Yes.
guy is a physical specimen at his age, and he's also training in martial arts. He has wanted to fight Jake Paul for the longest time. I'm telling you now, he'd have a hard time against him. We're talking about Mike Tyson, okay? As fast as he is, it's sick. Peter, listen, my hat's off to what Jake Paul has done. He's going to laugh all the way to the bank. So is Mike over this. But if this is a real legitimate fight, I don't know how it could be, but as Bubba, whatever the hell his name was in the old Rocky movie, he's going to feel pain. That's exactly what it is.
I'm going to watch it. You know, they did it. That's what Dan Raphael was saying. He's like, Saturday Night Live last week had a skit on it. What boxing match are they doing skits on? Everybody is going to want to watch this. There was a boxer, Diamond David Santos. He was a featherweight out of St. Pete, so didn't get much recognition, but he had an incredible record. I saw him in St. Pete the other day, and he's like, he can't stand the whole YouTuber thing and this and that and this and that. And he's like, I'm not going to watch it. Well, a friend of mine's going to have the fight on Netflix, and I'm going to go over there, and I am going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to watch this. Everyone.
I got to bring up this comment because I think this is pretty comical. This is from Jared Cruz. Jared, thanks for commenting. Oh, my God, Tyson's getting paid for the fall. Jake Paul has too much money. No way Tyson wins. What's wrong with you people? I'd love to think that, but has anybody really tried to convince Mike Tyson to take a fall? Are you?
No, right. That's a good point. That's
really?
His legacy.
Zero
chance.
He would
do that? I don't think so. I don't think. I know. Everybody is going to say that he's going to take a dive. I don't think Tyson would do that. It's already going to be bad enough if he does lose to a YouTuber, even though Jake Paul's got the best training in the world. He's gotten better. He's in fantastic shape, all that. I really don't think Tyson would do that. I don't.
No,
yeah, I don't think so either, and I don't know how it's going to work out. But
it can't be a legit fight. There's just no way. This is, I mean,
well, it is an exhibition, so anything goes because he wouldn't get sanctioned.
He's going to make $20 million to jump in a ring. $20 million. You know, I'll believe it's true when Mike or Jake say, "Hey, winner takes the whole purse." Then I'll believe it's true. And if there was a way that we could get that word out there, buddy, this could be bigger than the Thrilla in Manila. If I'm telling you, if winner took it all, I'm telling you, this could be probably one of the most viewed fights, even if it was fake. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right. So
I want to fly to Dallas. Rock, if you want to go, I'm game.
Let's do it.
Peter, if you guys want to go, I'm
Peter,
game.
you're going, right? Peter's going, right?
I want to go. I want to get credentialed. I want to be their credentialed media.
You better put in your credentials now, man, because there's going to be a lot. It's going to be hard to get a credential, but with the Rolex, you'll probably get in.
Yeah, definitely. And I
got to have someone hold the camera.
There you go. Right, Harry the Greek. Harry the Greek. There you go.
Right. Rock, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports.
Oh, he's got to go already?
No,
come on, Rock.
It is the Rock Stops Here podcast. I have Mark Schlerathon tomorrow. He was
one of my favorite.
Fox, used to be ESPN, 3-time Super Bowl champion. Stink is his nickname. So the Rock Stops Here podcast, Tampa Free Press, and during the football season, JoeBucksFan.com, Bucs Kickoff podcast, and wherever else, and on the Peter Blake Sports Web Show.
Love it, man. I appreciate you as always, Rock Riley. The Rock Stops Here podcast
with Harry the Greek.
Yes, you know the Greek is still waiting for an invite. Haven't gotten one yet, but that's cool. I understand. Even though I picked them over 70% last year against the spread, but who's bragging?
Nice, great. You the man.
Not bad. Hey, don't forget to tell Jim McMahon. Talk to him about his.
I might see him because I'll be doing a couple of I'll probably see him again. I'll mention that. I will, Harry.
He'll laugh.
Cool.
All right, Rock. Thanks a lot for your time.
We love you, Rock.
All right.
Thanks. Back at you guys.
All right, great stuff there from Rock Riley.
What a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great interview. And, we usually go 30 minutes, but we had to give him more time because there's so much to talk about. If you're a Bucs fan, there's so much to talk about. If you're an NFL fan, there's so much to talk
we
about.
could forget about the National Football League. We could talk the rest about this fight. Could you imagine? I mean, this can't be real. Listen, man, you know who Schuster is, right? David Schuster.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, my Lord, when I was talking to him on the phone, I was like, this can't be true. When I first heard it come out, and he goes, Harry, I'm telling you it is. He says, but I got a funny feeling this is going to be some kind of a gimmick. What kind of gimmick can it be? And he brought up a good point.
Right.
He's too old to box.
Well, and it could be, I don't know if you've ever seen Rocky Balboa, but, you have to basically, get sanctioned. And if it is an exhibition, then anything can go. But I don't know how they're going to work it, but I know there's a lot of people that have been asking for it. And say whatever you want to about Jake Paul. That's the great thing about him. He's getting attention on the sport, not only getting attention on the sport that in so many words was dead, but also he's getting attention on women's boxing with Amanda Serrano. And she's a great fighter and a great interview. And you won't see that anywhere else but the sports web. So
I got a question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you want me to give out the phone number, or can I read some of the comments?
Well, I mean, we're going to read the comments together. The phone number's out there, so you see. I don't have to say it again. Let's see. Thank you, Mike Evans, ultimate team player. I mean, that's the question for the night, Bucs fans. Is he the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time? Not only on the field, but off the field. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Mr. Williams says hello. He's waiting for his wings from you, Greg.
God, Lord, hang on here. Lord.
You called in. Call back in if you want to. Yes. Drake says, I want a Jason Light jersey.
You can pass by this.
Ben saying Devin White was a traitor. Devin White's not a traitor, but the reported contract at first was 7.5 to the Eagles. Now it's being reported it's only $4 million. We'll get back to that in a moment. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the sports web.
Hey, what's going on, Peter? This is Derek Manic Buck Stevens of the Plunder. How you doing?
What's going on, Plunder? When are we going to have you on the sports web on camera here? You ready to come on?
Hey, brother, I'd love to. You just hit me up on my DMs, and we'll schedule something out, man.
Sounds good.
Going down with the dim.
You shut up and be quiet, Harry.
This guy sucks.
Yes,
buddy. He'll never answer your DMs because he just gets tons of them.
Listen, we always love, Bucs podcast on here, Bucs shows. We love the Bucs community out there. Love to get a lot of people here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. So your thoughts on this? I threw it out there, and I think a lot of Bucs fans will be interested in it. Is Mike Evans the greatest Buccaneer of all time, not only because of what he does on the field, but off the field, and, of course, for this organization year after year doing restructures?
Well, for me, this is how I could break it down. Okay. You've got a few of them that you got to keep in the conversation.
Sure.
Leroy Selman.
Great.
John Lynch, Derek Brooks.
Great.
Rodney Barber.
For me, I think, guys, you can have opinions, whether you like somebody or not.
Sure.
But when it comes to that on the field and off the field, what did they do to contribute to the organization? And for me, Derek Brooks, as an example, not necessarily with the contracts, because Tampa never really had big major players that really demanded that kind of money outside of Keyshawn, honestly, that big major market type money. A lot of these guys were hometown guys that got their wealth by earning it in the mud. Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, they were really great talents, but in the long run, Derek Brooks, as an example, did a phenomenal job and still does every day representing the Buccaneer organization after his career and even during his career. But I laughed so hard the other day when I read the news that Mike Evans again restructured his contract. And here we are as Buccaneer fandom for the last few years, watching him do this season after season after season.
Yeah.
And then you hear about the holdout, potentially because, they're far apart on the contract negotiations. And then, the way the season works out with the expansion of the free agency money we have in the cap room. And then the conversation that he's really wanting to test the free agency, for and really get the experience of it. And that's a really cool thing. But he ends up doing the same thing over and over again. Now, the key is this time he didn't lower his money. He just moved it to the back end. And in my opinion, he's going to get it all because he's going to play out this contract without restructuring unless they extend it again. But in my opinion, you could really flip a coin between him and Derrick Brooks. To me, that's his only competition, in my opinion. Derrick Brooks, from the standpoint on the field as well as off the field, was probably the most important Buccaneer of all time.
Love it. Good stuff there. What do you think of what they've done in free agency so far, Derek?
I have literally been eating it up. I've said on the plunder, throughout most of the season that a real big key for us moving forward is consistency, and that's keeping a lot of our core players together. And Jason Light did exactly that. With picking up the additional pieces out of free agency, I think each one of those pieces are probably very important, yet not bank breaker type contracts or, players that really demand a huge contract. But those guys are really going to put in work that creates competition. And as you hear every day in sports news, competition in athletics breeds success.
Without question.
It can't be defeated.
But I'll tell you what, the more we were talking about it, man, work done, not because of his play on the field. You said it, on and off the field.
That's a good point.
I mean, what he did for people, single mothers, just families, I mean, just, oh my
Countless.
God.
He's still doing it. He just there was a new one just come out in Tampa.
In my opinion, nobody in the history of the National Football League, he could have been the Walter Payton Player, the Man of the Year every year.
Every year.
Just for what he's done.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something, and that's a hell of an honor.
Absolutely. Yeah, he did. I think it was a creamsicle game. I came down for the creamsicle game this year, and that was the weekend that they actually unveiled a new house for a family that weekend.
They were doing it once a month at one time. I mean, I still won't forget it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's outstanding stuff.
Yep.
I mean, you think of a lot of these guys. Let me tell you a little story. This is a cool little story just because of how you reach the fans. Now, I had season tickets a few years back, and, things don't work out. But one of my favorite players in the draft a few years back, Antoine Winfield Jr., I was a huge fan of his dad's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I go to the game, and I've got a custom Antoine Winfield two-tone colored jersey, and I wanted him to sign it. So this was COVID year, right? So they had the gates up. I see, Nick Leverett.
Mm-hmm.
He comes through and he asked me for a marker. So I threw it at him. And just the compassion that this guy has, he says, man, I wish I could help you out. Once I gave him the marker, he hands it back to me. So I wish I could, help you out. I'm like, you could help me out, brother. I'll be back in 2 weeks when you guys come back home. Take this to Antoine and get him to sign it. Nick took the jersey home with him, brought it through practice, kept it for 2 weeks until I came back, sent me a message in my DMs on Instagram, and we arranged it, and I went and picked up the jersey. But just the gesture of what that does for a fan is irreplaceable.
Yep.
Those things that those players do off that field leave a legacy behind way more important than what they do on those blades of grass.
It's a great point. It's definitely a great point. For right now, because we're going to go and revisit this question again, what do you think the biggest need of the Bucs is at 26?
Oh, wow, that's tough. Right now, with the signings that we've got, in my opinion, with what we've got, and maybe there's another, interesting signing coming up with a little bit more cap room from that restructure of Evans' contract.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this. I think at this point right now, the Buccaneers can't lose either going best overall player at edge, corner, or interior lineman.
What about a wide receiver? Because they're talking to Keon Coleman. Would you be okay with them even at a wide receiver with Evans and his contract getting up there in age? Chris Godwin coming up as a free agent next year. You have Trey Palmer. You have Raheem Jarrett. You have Devin Tompkins, but they're still talking to Coleman. Would you be okay
Keon
with
Coleman
them?
is sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Keon Coleman, for one, is an outstanding player. He deserves to be drafted in the top first round.
Okay.
You know, again, I don't believe the Buccaneers can go wrong with the best player available.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got Godwin, like you said, you got a Ray. I'm really got high hopes personally for Trey Palmer this year.
Yeah.
I think he takes a big step forward,
Mhm.
but you also got to look. You got 2 years left on Godwin, I think, right?
Yep.
On his contract.
Yep.
You got the Evans 2-year contract. You got Palmer for another 3,
Yep.
maybe 4 years.
Correct.
You know, Jarrett, same time frame. It wouldn't hurt at all. Did we bring Dave Moore back?
I do not think you brought. I don't think they brought back David Moore. No.
I don't think. Yeah,
No.
and that's what I was about to say. If we didn't bring Dave Moore back, and those are the guys we have on the roster, I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I honestly think you can go right now with that 26th pick and get the best player available.
No.
Or why not maybe use a little bit of that 3rd-round pick that we got in the trade and use it potentially as trade bait with a little meat and move up to get maybe
I can't condone. I cannot condone a quarterback, a cornerback, a quarterback, a safety, a defensive lineman, a linebacker if they don't go. And unless one of the major quarterbacks fall down to where they're at, you have got to draft an offensive lineman because this was the Achilles heel for this offense. It was protecting Baker Mayfield. It wasn't any good. Baker Mayfield struggled with pressure in his face, as most quarterbacks struggle with pressure in their face. But you got to give the guy more than a second and a half to go ahead and do that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but man, seriously.
No, you're good.
Interior defensive linemen, linebackers, nope.
And I got to come full screen here. I think you could definitely make a case that you draft an edge rusher if there's a Chop Robinson from Penn State or somebody that falls to you at 26. I think that's a much bigger need because Joe Tryon-Shoyinka hasn't been able to develop. You just got rid of Shaq Barrett.
Who's calling in so feverishly?
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what.
This is real quick, and I'll get off the line with you.
Yeah.
But I want to say this.
Stand by for a moment here. Let me take this call. Caller, we're going to finish up with Derek from the Plunder, and then we'll come out to you. And Kanaz, I also saw that you called, so call back. We'll put you on hold, too. Let me go back out to Derek to finish up.
So what I was going to say is, my opinion, if I'm in the room and we're starting to draft, I'm doing everything I can. This is me. I'm trading up to get Jared Verse.
I love it. I love the move.
I'm trading up to get Jared Verse at this point.
Yeah.
And then maybe move back up in the 2nd round and get an interior lineman. But I could also move up and get that center. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. He's got 3 names.
Jackson Powers.
Yes, Jackson Powers.
Yes.
That cat right there, if we can move up to get him.
Jason's cousin.
Right, exactly. Jason's cousin. All right, Derek, I appreciate
thank
the
you,
time.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Darius, thanks for calling in, buddy.
From the Plunder, we'll get you on the evolution of Sports Talk Television very soon, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll look forward to it.
All right, stand by here. Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Sports Web.
Go Bears.
I know exactly who it is. It is the no ketchup eating Vienna hot dog mother. Don't you give him looks like that, Peter. Don't you give him looks like that.
Hey guys, first and foremost, I want to sing something to a very special birthday girl.
Oh God.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh God.
Happy birthday to Jamie. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. There you go.
Many more.
This is Mr. Tom Banner right here. Welcome to the Sports Web. What's on your mind tonight besides the obvious? And once again, Kanas, I know you called in, so call back in because you wanted something. You wanted to say something about Justin Fields. And guys, we could talk about the draft because they're drafting number 1 overall. So we'll go ahead and shift some gears here. Talk Bucs, talk Bears, talk draft. But Justin Fields being traded for a 6th-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you make?
It could be a 4th. Will you stop it?
It's not going to be a 4th. Russell Wilson is going to start for the majority of those snaps, man. The Steelers got to steal.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's not a steal. He's a stiff.
Who's a stiff?
Stiff. He's a stiff.
Who is?
Fields is the absolute stiff.
Yeah, well, that's the consensus around half of Chicago. The other half of Chicago loves him, and You know, he's the second coming of Christ. Hey, I get it. I get why they got rid of him. You know, I mean, does he have talent? I mean, you and I, we can't deny the talent that the guy has, but how many more games can you lose because the guy has the propensity of just turning the ball over?
In in the immortal words of Tony Pellegrini, zero chance, absolute stiff.
Tony
Pellegrini.
Champagne Tony, the best handicapper in the world for NCAA brackets. Let me tell you something. If you want an inside and you want to win your bracket, DM me because I've got his Final Four. I'm not allowed to divulge it, but I'm going to tell you right now, the guy's on fire. If I told you his winning percentage the past 3 years, you'd say absolutely zero chance.
What's his winning
No chance,
percentage?
zero.
You don't want to know because you're Tom.
Yes.
Tell everybody what his winning percentage was for the bracket last year and the year before.
The upper half of 99.
Wow. All right, stand by, Tom. I got
No,
Kanaz.
no.
I'm going to come back to you in a moment here.
All right,
He's
Stand
not
by.
hanging up. He's just
Stand
hold on.
Kanaz, we got Tom on the line here. We're going to finish up with him. We'll come out to you. Stand by. Let's go back out to Mr. Tom Banner. Tom, go ahead.
All right, what was I going to talk about? Harold and his plethora of picks for Justin Fields obviously never ever had zero chance of materializing.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you throwing that back at me. Just wait till you come down here because I am going to throw ketchup all over your hot dog now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll add one thing that's, you hear a rumor once, you hear a rumor 5 times, and then it starts to make sense. The Chargers, I'll call them San Diego, trading Herbert with your quote unquote plethora of picks.
No.
To the Bears?
No.
Yeah, I heard that too, but that's all nonsense. There's like Chicago's going to receive 3 picks, and the Chargers would they want the first overall pick. That is just someone starting a whole bunch of BS.
That's nonsense. Yeah.
No, it makes it makes a little more sense.
And you know what? I'll do it right now. You give me Justin Herbert, you can have the first and the 9th pick in this draft.
Yeah, that's not happening, guys. It's just, I'm sorry. That's
it would be Herbert and your plethora.
Plethora, okay? You and your clitora, okay? Will you stop it?
Christ, zero chance. You break my aching back. Oh, my aching. What else is going on?
You know what I want to know is
Bears.
Why aren't you in the middle of downtown Chicago in your little green dress, you leprechaun, doing your little Irish jig? Tell me why you're not doing this.
Because in Chicago, my little green dress would be made of Kevlar.
Kevlar. That's true. You know what?
Guy sucks.
But I'll tell you what. Champagne Tony and me would be right there supporting you, buddy. You know, with the video cameras, just to extort it out of you.
1,400 miles away. You guys. No, I honestly think there's a chance that Herbert's going to come with your plethora of picks.
Plethora, not plethora, okay?
Yeah,
even Tony's going to.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, I don't know. He had that definition thrown out.
What do you want from a typical Irish guy?
I mean, no, it's plethora, not plethora.
Yeah, it's plethora.
No, but that's the way Harold's been saying it. Plethora.
Plethora, yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right, Mr. Banner, what else do you got?
It's like he's spitting some kind of like a sauce out there. They kind of resembles ranch dressing. Plethora.
All right.
I'm going to tell you this right now, Ben. I'm not going to forget this.
Harry.
Yes, sir.
If Tony's listening, name your favorite Tonyism.
My favorite Tonyism. All right, you ready? Hold on. That's my favorite Tonyism. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, and people that are watching the show, Tony, if it's just, how do I put it? He's just a great sports handicapper, really good parimutuel wagering. Matter of fact, I actually defer, and that's where I get a lot of my picks from. Not in the NFL. I get my picks from basketball from Tony because the guy is just absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Terrible chess player.
All right.
No, he's not. His son. Listen, his son beat you in chess. Okay, his son. You're drunk. Now you're drunk.
I was drunk. I was drunk at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm Irish.
Oh, there you go. That's the best excuse of the night. I want to know, were you drunk yesterday for St. Patrick's Day?
No.
No,
not Tom.
no.
I
But-
think the Bears are gonna. I think the Bears are really going to trade out of it for Herbert and a bunch of picks. Harbaugh is going to start over. A 6'6" pocket quarterback is not Harbaugh. He had what? McCarthy. He had Kaepernick.
That's true.
Smith, who he dumped. You know,
Hey,
Justin
but
Herbert-
I do know one thing. Colin Kaepernick will not be starting for any team or even be on any NFL roster this year. That just came out, just to let you know. I mean, I'm giving you that prediction.
All right. I will
but he's
bet,
the best player. He's the best quarterback, unsigned quarterback ever in NFL.
Mr. Banner, I will bet you a steak dinner that Caleb Williams is the number 1 pick overall for the Chicago Bears. There is zero chance, and I mean zero chance.
Now he's starting to sound like Tony.
Yeah, that they actually pass on him. Zero.
Another great Tony is wait. See you guys later.
You understand if Tony's watching this tonight, he's going to kill you.
He is. Trust
He's watching this. Hey, Tony, what's up?
Appreciate
You know what? I got to tell you during the Wednesday show, because when is the big dance start? Thursday?
I thought it started a couple nights before. I don't even know, to tell you the truth.
I think it starts tomorrow.
I think it starts tomorrow also.
No, the fill-in games are tomorrow, but when
that's when it starts. I mean, the fill-in games are the fill-in games. Yeah.
Like the 16th.
The reason why I'm saying that is I do want to get Tony on. I just hope he's not embarrassed of the camera. I'm going to go ahead and send him the link. He's got like 25 computers at the house, but he's really something to talk to. He's very knowledgeable in this, especially with college sports.
If you get him on, I will be there.
Oh, he'll be on. You know what? The Greek might even set up the equipment sitting right up in here he actually has 2 microphones.
All right, Tom, I appreciate you, my friend.
When I'm down there.
And we will definitely get together when you are down here. Let me go out to the phone.
Banner, take care of yourself, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. It's much love.
Let's go out to Kanaz here. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek Professional.
Kanaz, what's up, brother?
Yes.
What up, Harry? What up, Peter, man?
What's going on?
What's on your mind, buddy?
Another Chicago Bear fan that doesn't sound too happy about the trade.
That's Kanaz. That's right. Kanaz is a Bears fan. What's up, Kanaz?
So I ain't gonna take too much of you guys' time because enough has been said already.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna just keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Justin Fields is gone. I am one of those fans that's hurt behind it. We finally have developed what I believe could have been a playoff contending team.
They still can be.
Exactly. They still can be. Hold on. I'm going to say something. Justin could have led that particular team to the playoffs. I know he could. To the guy earlier who called Justin a stiff. No, fam. Just no.
No, he ain't as stiff. That's just half of Chicago thinks he is, the other half isn't. But Kanaz, you can't deny this one thing. People don't realize this team won how many games last year? Come on, tell me. It's okay. Say it.
I don't want to say it.
No. How many games did they win? There were 7 games they won.
7.
Right? Did you know that they lost 4 games minimum because of Justin when they should have won, where he gave up double-digit leads? I want you to think about that. And that's because of the turnovers. Now you're talking about a playoff contender. This is why they had to do that. Look, I supported Justin Fields. I thought he could have been the quarterback. But I don't care who they plug behind center on this team with this offense and that running game. It's going to be a different beast out there. I'm not kidding you. They're going to be a really big running team, but I think they're going to have tremendous success this year, even with a rookie quarterback. But I would have liked to have seen Justin stay because of the fact that he was a veteran and this team is built to win right now.
It's a good point. All right. Anything else here?
Oh, I'm going to say this one thing. If we do draft Caleb Williams.
You going to paint your fingernails?
Shut up.
Are you tell me you going to get that wardrobe like he is so you and I can go sporting around downtown? No?
I'm going to have a chip on my shoulder, but listen to me closely. He better pull a if he's going to be if he's the prospect everyone is claiming him to be, if he's the generational talent everyone is saying he is in the draft.
Yeah, so is Ryan Leaf, but we're not saying that.
he better pull a CJ Stroud, otherwise bust. That's how I feel.
Wow, first
You know what? Listen, man, that's the way Chicago is, Peter. They're brutal right now in Chicago. What happens if they don't? What would you do if they actually traded out of that first pick and took one of the other quarterbacks, like a
Oh,
Drake May or a Jaden Daniels?
zero.
No, hang on. I'm just asking you, what would you do? What would your opinion be? Would you give him a little bit more respect? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this guy has got talent of Patrick Mahomes, but that doesn't mean that's going to transition to a football field. Has anybody listened to this guy talk? Seriously. Has anybody seen this guy's disposition? But now all of Chicago's going crazy because he turns around and he gives love. He did the little heart thing, for the people in Chicago. Are you serious? Can you imagine if Dick Buckus was around playing in this day and age? What did you just do, son? He slapped the living dog crap out of you.
He's absolutely correct about that. The expectations are going to be sky high. They acquire Keenan Allen. You pair him with DJ Moore. You've improved the defense. You improved the offensive line. You have.
Oh, I got to read this for my boy Kanash. Tom Banner from Chicago says, name the last famous Chicago legend to paint his fingernails. Do you know who it was, Kanaz?
Kanaz, are you there?
I'm here. I've been sipping.
Who was the last Chicago legend to paint his fingernails in sports?
Oh, Dennis Rodman?
Well, there you go.
Right.
Right there, Dennis Rodman. All right.
Oh, I was thinking Bears players, but you said Chicago legends.
Yes.
I was like,
yes.
That's Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. All right.
That man had 20 rebounds and nail polish, I'm gonna pull a Cat Williams. Nail polish, mascara, lipstick, chapstick, foundation.
Wedding dress.
Bro, I remember when he wore his wedding dress. I got to give a little shout out here, Kanaz. Nick Berg. Boy, does that sound like the Greeks kid? Publicly painting their nails? Yes, Nick. They actually publicly painted his nails. And he dressed kind of similar to Dennis Rodman. And I guess in today's society, people condone that kind of stuff.
Listen, I don't know about all that. I just want to know if it doesn't go well for him and the Bears, can he, overcome that adverse situation? If he can do that, I think he'll be fine. He's got the talent. We'll see how it goes. And again, it's a tough transition period because, for every CJ Stroud, there's a Zach Wilson. For every guy out there, for a Baker Mayfield who had to face, adversity, you have a Johnny Manziel who was never able to overcome that.
Does anybody know how many number one overall picks quarterbacks have ever made the Super Bowl?
Well, let's see. Let's think about this.
I know the answer.
To make the Super Bowl.
Well,
I know the answer to this.
Okay, what is it?
2.
Peyton Manning is 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is who?
I don't remember, but I know it's 2.
Okay.
I read that.
All right.
It's not like I'm a football
savant. That's a great little trivia to look up. I'm gonna definitely look that.
Yeah,
it is. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to take him. But if they don't take this quarterback, the city's going to they're going to riot more than they already do.
Listen, everybody thinks this quarterback class is amazing, and
of course, this makes sense. Tom Banner, for every Donald Trump, there's a Joe Biden.
Oh God. All right, so
we had to go there.
So
we had to go there.
Anything else here on the evolution?
Yeah, much love to you guys. I'm gonna end you all with this right here.
Yeah.
What do you got, Kanaz?
I actually do believe Ryan Poles is putting together a great team. I will give Caleb Williams the benefit of the doubt, same as I gave Justin Fields coming out of college. He better show some potential. With this offense.
I got a funny feeling if he can keep his head on straight, this could be the answer finally.
Well, they have the offense, so there's no excuse. There's plenty of weapons there. There's a plethora of weapons with DeAndre Swift. And once again,
plethora?
No. Kanaz, thanks a lot for the call, man. I appreciate you, all right?
Kanaz, take it easy, man. Deuces.
All right?
Much love to you all. Take it easy, Harry.
Much love, man. Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Yeah, good stuff there.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Let me go ahead and talk about this really quick. Hit the like button. Go ahead and share the show. Put this on someone's timeline. Look, it's not all these nice, good-looking faces that just like to do this. And don't forget to send stars. That man that just got offered here, he works his ass off doing this. He's got to be able to make a living. Go ahead and send him a couple of cents. He can't live like the Greek all the time. So, I mean,
I can't take trips to El Segundo.
This guy puts ketchup on his hot dog. Anyway, you got a question or a comment, make sure you go ahead and post it. We're going to read it live on the air. Or you can call in at 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. That's Peter Blake, your host. I'm Harry the Greek. Peter, go ahead and read some comments, brother.
I've taught you well. I really have. I really have taught you well. Very good.
Oh, yes, sir, master. Yes, sir.
Happy B-Day, Miss Greek. Absolutely. Christopher Cole says, hey, thank you, Christopher, for tuning in. As always, Dave with some great comments tonight. Jason Line and his team are doing a great job this offseason. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, Colts Messiah, Butterfingers, Mike Evans owes his career to J-Boo.
Please just ignore that, please.
Just ignore his comments. Okay, Mike is the greatest.
Seriously, because some of the crap he's spewing on here is just ridiculous.
Yep. In Bucs history, it used to be I'll stop, but Mike has taken it to another level. I tend to agree with you, Dave. Yeah. Trez Broadwater says Bucs still need a pass rusher.
Second round. Please, if the quarterback doesn't fall into their lap, please, Jason, grab an interior lineman.
What if Jared Verse happens to get past 10? I don't think it's possible. What if?
I think he gets past 10.
If he gets past Atlanta or he gets past the Bears.
Wait a minute. That's right. The Bears are picking at 9. He ain't getting past there.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I would love to trade up for him. He got the ammunition to do it, too. He got a third-round pick. Trade the first and the third.
It'll cost you 2 first rounds, Peter.
But can you imagine Jared Verse with Yaya Diaby, Kalijah Kancey, and Vita Vea? Oh, my friggin' God. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Florida State fan. I'm a little bit biased, but I've seen the kid.
Oh, Lord, please. God forbid if he knew that I was a Gator fan, he'd kick me off the show permanently.
I love Dunn and still do wish you could have stayed in Tampa Bay. I mean, what could have been? Of course, they get rid of him before they win the Super Bowl. They pick up Michael Pittman, which was a good move. He did rush for 100 yards in the Super Bowl, but a lot of people say, what could have been with Warwick Dunn and all those years with the Super Bowl? I think Chuck just sent us some stars. Facebook stars are open.
Chuck? Chucky, my boy Chucky Anderson sent some stars?
I think he did.
That was for me because he's a Greek guy, just to let you know.
All right, so let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Eric from Lakeland, Florida. What's going on, Peter?
What's up, buddy? Pump it up a little bit. You all right? You ready?
What's up, Eric?
Yeah, I'm going on vacation to Colorado tomorrow, so I'm kind of
not El Segundo, but it's a vacation, Peter. That's something that us do that human beings have to do once in a while.
Yes, I need a vacation. I haven't had one since 2012. That is a true story. And I went to WrestleMania with The Rock and John Cena. True story. I'm not kidding. That's my last vacation.
In Miami, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I remember that.
Whole week of doing nothing.
I was wondering, do you think if the Bucs got offered a 5th-round pick for, I don't know. I mean, by the time the draft rolls around, who will need a quarterback if they got offered like a 5th-round pick for Trask?
Depending on if they're ready to move on.
There's no market for Kyle Trask because he has never played it down in the National Football League.
Yeah.
That's it.
Zero market for Kyle Trask. However, if he has the chance to play, God forbid there's an injury, and he does ball out and they want to go back to Baker Mayfield, Trask will be on the table merely because it's going to be a contract year, and it still won't even be great for draft capital because of the fact that he's going to be owed a contract, and who's going to want to do that to a guy that's going to have maybe 5 or 6 games under his belt?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it comes down to
that shit only works if you were a New England Patriot.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, do I have to explain it? How many quarterbacks came out from under Tom Brady in New England and they got all this draft capital and all this money and they never panned out? I could think about 6.
Matt Castle, Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo,
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, Hoyer.
Yep.
I mean,
and what? Brissett's back in New England now, right?
I believe he is. Yes.
Yep.
So, and I still think they draft somebody. I think they drafted Jaden Daniels. That's where Harry loses his bet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how about Drake May?
I like Drake May.
This guy loves him.
I love Drake May. My God, but He's not going number one. If they did that, Chicago would riot because of Mitchell. Let me give you two names: Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep, that's it.
That's the only reason why they won't draft Drake May. But name a quarterback that came out of USC that's been successful. But then again, it's not fair. Name a quarterback that came out of Ohio State.
I got one.
Finally.
Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer was successful, come out of USC. That's one.
Okay, name another. It's pretty hard, Peter.
So far between. Yeah,
I would say Justin Fields, but not really.
Well, he's
not even.
Yeah.
Here's a trivia question for you. Who was the first quarterback from the University of Michigan to throw a touchdown on the foot in the National Football League? This is really going to shock you.
I don't even know that.
And Peter, let me tell you something.
I was going to say Brady, but no.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
And it's not as old as you are. How about that? Think of how many years. It's not as old as Peter.
I'm 20,
year?
I'm
give me
29.
Give me a year.
1989, he was drafted. 88, 89, somewhere in that neighborhood. Come on, Pete.
I'm thinking it's Elvis Gerbach.
Nope. Jim Harbaugh.
What? I was going to say,
I'm not kidding you. I remember reading that. Jim Harbaugh was the first quarterback and now think of all the quarterbacks that play for University of Michigan. He was finally the first quarterback to throw a TD in the National Football League.
That's nuts. That's nuts. All right. What else, Eric?
What about Greasy?
Well, Brian Greasy, yeah.
That's about it. I mean, I love the way the Bucs are moving.
Is Mike Evans the greatest Buck of all time, in your opinion, or is there somebody else?
Man, you got to put me on the spot.
Yes, that's what I do here on the Sports Web.
Mike, I mean, okay. Can I rephrase the question?
No, you can
Mike
answer
Evans.
The question there. What is this? You're being diplomatic at this point? This isn't November.
No.
I'm not running the elections. I'm not doing a recount because it's Florida.
We do want to know who you're going to vote for, though.
Yeah. Well, you shut up and be quiet. Nobody cares about that.
Shut up!
Go ahead, Eric.
He's trending that way. I mean, I love Derek Brooks. I love Ronnie Barber.
Okay.
I mean, the greatest offensive player in the Bucs history.
The greatest Buck of all time. Can you make the case for
you can't. I don't know.
I ask these questions because I am interested in where Bucs fans are thinking. And again,
I love Mike Evans, but how can you say the greatest ball player of all time? You're going to have to go. Oh my God!
I'll say he'll be a first ballot. Most likely will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will most likely surpass Jerry Rice, who could be considered not only the greatest wide receiver of all time, but one of the greatest NFL players of all time. And then he's done it without a Joe Montana. He's done it without a Rich Gannon. He hasn't done it with a consistent quarterback. Yeah, you had some Brady years there, Baker, but these are not, quarterbacks that you're writing home about. And then furthermore, with the restructures, for me, can you guys think of a player that's done multiple restructures in his career for his team?
Nope.
Okay. I'm just throwing it out there.
Listen,
all right. Yes.
One of the greatest. Yes. The greatest. No.
Yes.
Nah, I'm just saying. All right, Eric, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. Use that second call if you want to, my friend. Okay.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Good.
Hey,
stuff
man, take
there.
care of yourself.
Alex,
don't you have turnbuckle talk?
No, it's Monday.
Oh.
No turnbuckle talk. I mean, you can hang out for a little bit here.
Hey, I got 6 minutes.
All right, 6 minutes then. Well, let's read these comments. Sitton says, "What's up, Peter Blake? What's going on, buddy? How you doing?" Go Bucs! Absolutely.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Go Bucs! Jared says, "Peter, I was never ready to see Kyle Trask. I'm gonna forget you ever said that." I did say that in the press box, and then Baker Mayfield properly throws a 75-yard touchdown to Mike Evans, and I never said it again. But there were frustrations last year with watching this team, especially on offense, where they would struggle in those periods, and we talked about it, and that's why I'm fair about this. Like, I love Baker Mayfield, but am I going to sit here and say he was the greatest quarterback last year? No, he had his difficulties. That offense had problems with scoring points. So it was somewhat frustrating, but the Bucs got through it. Evening, guys. Go Bucs. Absolutely.
What's up, KR?
let's go out to Jared here. It's a great marriage, Rock. Absolutely, period. Rob says, Rock Riley is awesome. Great to see him talk ball with Peter H. Blake. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, Rob, of the crew life right there. I was at the San Fran playoff game with our first and back at the stadium Monday night when the team returned. Great stuff there. Very cool, Jared. Thanks a lot for that story. Whitehead played against Green Bay, and the NFC Championship game was huge. Absolutely second half turnover, which if you don't get that, you don't get quick points on the board because you remember Brady threw 3 interceptions in that second half, and the offense was completely off. If not for that defense at the time and Whitehead.
SMB had a great game, too. People seem to forget that.
Well, that's very true. Harry, how about the trade with the Bears? We talked about that. Dave, if Powers is there at 26, we have to take him. I certainly think that's a possibility of taking him out of Oregon. Falcons might lose their first-round pick for tampering with Cousins. What do you make of this? Because you heard.
Listen, it's case shut. Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing? Because they deducted.
0.
Listen, they deducted a pick today from the 49ers for payroll issues. So if the NFL finds that the Falcons were tampering with Kirk Cousins, could they literally take away their first-round pick or their second-round pick?
Potentially they could. It's not going to happen. I mean, do you know that Darnell Mooney went to Atlanta?
Right.
That's because Kirk Cousins recruited him before he went to Atlanta. How about that one?
Well, I'm not naive to think that that's not happening. In the back,
that happens all the time. Brady did it with everybody else. But
sure,
go ahead.
Saquon Barkley. I mean, even the Bucs organization admitted they wanted Tom Brady. BA admitted he wanted Tom Brady before it was a free agent. He said it. That's door number 2, Tom Brady. He said it out there, and whatever. But Saquon Barkley also, the Eagles could be found in tampering with him, getting him from the Giants. All right, so let's go out to one of our favorite callers here, Mr. Chicken Wing Man himself, who the Greek owes him. Oh, no.
Deuces, I got to go.
Mr. Williams, welcome to the Evolution. Harry Still.
Hi, Mr. Williams.
Not paid you up on those wings, my friend. Yes.
Harry.
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Williams, you got to roll a fatter doobie and drink some hen with me, bro.
No, I don't indulge on doobies, but he sound real good.
But the Hennessy does sound good now, doesn't it?
Yeah, but right now, Justin Fields, you might not get a chance to play because they got Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. Hey, man, I hope you do.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Let me interrupt you. If Pittsburgh comes out of the gate slow, trust me, the Pittsburgh fans and the media will be clamoring for Justin Fields. They really believe in this kid.
Yeah, hats off to Mike Tomlin also.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the greatest coaches in football history.
That is underrated by far because he gets the most out of his team. And you would think,
without question, absolutely.
With the moves that they made here and the defense, and I think it's defensively, they're scary with, you have TJ Watt on one side and you have Queen coming from Baltimore and the Ravens. That's a perfect Steeler linebacker. That combination of edge rushers, they get it. They understand how you stop a Lamar Jackson and all those weapons and how you slow down a Derrick Henry. You do that with defense, and Mike Tomlin say whatever you want to, and it's been said on this show, but that guy gets the most out of his players every year. Every year.
Yes, he do. That man, hands down, he's one of the goodest, one of the goodest defensive head coaches there is out there.
Yeah.
But Mr. Harry.
Yes, sir.
We told you, I was saying this week after week that Devin White talked his way off my team, right? You talking about it?
Yep.
But they are going to bring him back. Hands down, they're going to bring him back. You owe my guy pizza, you owe my guy some wings right there.
Oh, yeah.
Another order of wings.
You owe me wings because you said they bring him back on the deal. And what does that say, Bucs fans, when it was reported today by Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times that he only got $4 million? So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
The Bucs decided to move on from White and not even pay him more than $4 million. That tells you everything you need to know. And then furthermore, on top of that, that's how teams viewed his play last year.
Yes.
So don't give me that nonsense that he was injured. The tape doesn't lie. Men lie, women lie, but the tape doesn't lie here on the Sports Web. Go ahead.
All right. And look, for instance, look, Vontae Davis. Okay.
Yep.
That man been here damn near a century.
Correct.
And won his first Super Bowl ring and did not drop a step.
No.
Understand me? And still playing at a high level.
He is the best linebacker on this team, Mr. Williams. That's why you get a pay raise of $9 to $10 million. He deserves it.
Yes. And he will be one of the best linebackers there is.
Right. Besides Derrick Brooks.
Right.
Yes.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. But number 55, he's the man.
All right. Let me ask you, Mr. Williams. You're a big time Bucs fan.
But
is Mike Evans the greatest Buccaneer of all time?
Oh man. Most definitely. Man.
Okay.
That man that gave back so much to this team.
Yeah.
And to the doggone community, man. And hey, he's gonna pass Jerry Rice, man, and he's gonna end a Buccaneer. And on my picks, I need an edge rusher and I need a
interior lineman.
Yeah, by a couple of them because I need help on that right side.
Okay.
Christian Worth.
Yeah.
Hey man, you keep on staying healthy. We need you and Jason Wright.
Yeah.
Hey man, go ahead on and give Antoine Winfield that damn 8-10, man, and let's lock and load him.
Yeah, lock and load him up and lock and load Tristan Wirfs.
Whitehead.
Yeah, you like that move?
Yeah, Jordan Whitehead, welcome back, man.
All right.
Welcome back. Mike Edwards, welcome back, man.
There you go.
Because, man, welcome back because Jordan, you was a good center field guy, man. But hey, man, we gonna I like what they did in free agency this year.
I do too. I like what they did, and I think they're gonna do more. Yeah.
Go out there and get me another quarterback.
All right, Mr. Williams. Appreciate the call as always. Harry the Greek, got to get you out of here. Happy birthday to James.
Comment of the year right there.
This guy, Irish. All right, Harry, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Harry the Greek. I don't have a home, but I got Tony Pellegrini and Tom Banner. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Thank you so much for all the comments. Much love. Shout out to my son, Nick. Behave yourself. We'll talk to you later, and happy birthday, Jamie. See you guys.
All right, there you go, Harry the Greek, and you always got a home here on the Evolution because this is your home.
I got no home.
Oh, you shut up.
I'm homeless.
Get out of here. All right, enough of that. Homeless. He's always got a home here on the Sports Web, just like the Tampa Bay sports fan has a home. Phone lines are open. Who's the greatest Buccaneer of all time? I threw it out there. Is it Mike Evans? In my opinion, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. As we are live here on YouTube, like and subscribe to the Sports Web. Give to the YouTube Super Chats. And, of course, Facebook stars. Always love, giving to the content because we can keep it going here. All right. So good comment there. Jared says, Harry, how about the trade with the Bears? We definitely talked about that. Powers at 26, absolutely. Fields, yes. Dave, if that's the case, Greek, the Bears are dumb. You make moves to improve your team. It's a business. Agree. My sources in Chicago told me Fields was stinky garbage. All right. Tom says Raiders weren't even in play, Harold. They hired Luke Getsy as the offensive coordinator immediately. Pig Dog Video 2001. Harry, what's your final four we will get that from him possibly on Wednesday. May have Dennis Phillips back, also have Leo. We'll see what happens here on the Wednesday show. Caleb Williams is my quarterback. Of course, read the comments, bro. Oh, my God. Give to YouTube super chats. Oh, my God, bro. Jeffrey says, problem with Fields is you have to build a full script around him offensively. A lot of teams went away from that type of offense, so basically have to restructure their whole offense. Not only that, but you have to use his talents, but also he has to learn how to read a defense. And we saw times last year where he's holding the ball too long. And I saw that, being up in the press box when he was against the Bucs. Wide open guys holding the ball way too long. Got to be more decisive. Does that come with time? Yes. Does that come with more weapons around him? Yes. But at the end of the day, they feel like, the Bears organization, that Williams is an upgrade over Fields. So we'll see if that works out. Because it doesn't always work out, and it doesn't always guarantee you, especially when you draft a number 1 overall quarterback. There's more bust than there's guys that are Patrick Mahomes. Again, Mahomes, Josh Allen being a first-round pick, Joe Burrow, those guys don't grow on trees. I mean, there's a reason why they're elite quarterbacks, right? Paul says, are the Buccaneers still working anyone in free agency? Again, they did the restructure of Mike Evans. So it freed up 17 right now. According to various sources, is about $9 million. But of course, they can free up more money with, Tristan Wirfs getting re-signed, and then also Antoine Winfield Jr. So yes, I definitely think Jason Light and that brain trust over there are definitely working the phone. CT is already affecting. All right. Jeffrey says FSU going to go unbeaten again. We shall see. They're going to have a new quarterback. They're going to have new this, new that. I mean, they lost a lot of players. It's going to be very difficult, every year. But if anybody can do it, it's Mike Norvell, who was, by the way, the number 1 candidate for Alabama, and FSU was fortunate to get him back. Did they have the talent? Did they have the recruiting? It certainly seems like it, because you look at this draft this year, it's littered with FSU players, which is a shame when you go undefeated and you don't get rewarded for it. But that's neither here nor there. Now the playoffs have extended, and you go to 6 teams, and we'll see what happens. So good question. Tyson going to whip Paul. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. Tyson's going to kill him. Tom says Jake Paul knocking out Tyson. Peter must have ingested some ketchup laced with fentanyl. Come on now, man.
This guy sucks.
Dave says, I hope Tyson puts Paul down. Sorry. I mean, everybody's against Jake Paul. I get that. He's the villain of it. But I will just say this, and again, I'm a little bit biased because if you don't know my story, you should. So look it up. Rolex reporter being given a Rolex. He's done a lot of good for boxing. And we're not talking about on a sports talk show on Monday night in March about a boxing match, if not for Jake Paul trying to create that interest. Now, am I going to sit here and say he's, fought the best guys? I mean, of course not. But everybody that he's fought in front of him besides Tommy Fury, which was a decision, which, by the way, he even his coach even admitted that he got better as a fighter after that loss, right? We're going to try to have that coach on. But he's done good for boxing. I think this whole thing, well, he's a YouTuber. That's even more tremendous. Like, I can kind of, identify with Jake Paul. No, I don't have the 20 million followers, but I was told also, listen, you can't do TV. You can't do radio. You can't do this without a radio station. You can't do this without a TV station. And I've been able to show you that it can be done. It's not always what everybody else wants. It's not always the way that everybody wants you to go. You have to make your own way. So, not only respect to him for giving the Rolex and being a man of his word, but respect to him for creating his own way, creating his own deal where people are paying attention to the sport again, if that's fair. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Question is, can Paul make it to the 3rd round? We'll see. I got to hand it to Jake Paul. He's laughing all the way to the bank. What a moron. Would fork out the pay-per-view dollars for a set show. It'll be a draw somehow. Of course it's a draw because it's Mike Tyson. And even though Tyson isn't in boxing, He's still recognized as a sports superstar who was in The Hangover, who's a guy that we grew up watching boxing. You grew up watching Tyson knock out people in the first or second round, usually the first round. And now you see this kid who's a YouTuber, who's somewhat of a villain, who people are saying, by the way, he can't be a boxer. And he's shown you he can be a boxer to a certain degree, right? And it pisses people off. And that's okay, because the guy's raking in money over and over again. So get mad about it, but just know that you're going to be paying attention in July when that fight happens. You know why? Because there's an interest in it. That's why. Whether he's a great boxer or not, it doesn't mean it. Doesn't mean a thing. I mean, he's getting better. But the fact of the matter is there's interest in the sport. That's what people kind of, discount. Tyson training videos are crazy. He's still as fast as he ever was. Paul says he won't be tired. He'll be asleep. Roger says Tyson drops him within 3 rounds. Jared, oh my God, Tyson's getting paid. We read that comment. Okay. It's not a legit fight. Jared says, WTF is wrong with these people. Are you trolling? Or you're all trolling. I can't believe this. No headgear in this fight. Jeffrey says it becomes a fight at round 3. Jared says Mike Tyson had the same chance as Trask starting. Damn, that was tough. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Let's see here. He's done, sold his soul. Mike needs the money, says Jared. We read that again. Let's see here. I'll come back here in a minute. I'm wrong. You're always welcome back here, Jared. Call in. Text in if you want to. Anthony Richardson says, I'm still waiting for the Warren Sapp fight. Peter promises. I didn't promise you anything. We had on a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Chidi Ahanotu. We promoted the fight. We thought the fight was going to happen. I'm the guy that's going to host the show. I'm not putting together the promotion. It never happened. I don't know why it didn't happen. I wasn't in charge of that, making it happen. But if it's called broadcasting and you're broadcasting somebody and you're trying to tell a story and paint a picture like a Picasso, then I'm all about it. I didn't promise you anything there, jerk.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Rob. Tyson needs more blow money. Oh, man. Tyson takes the fall. Jeremiah says everyone's shadow is here. Thank you. Yeah. Love you, boys. Thank you very much, Jared, for tuning in. As always, keep Tampa Bay going strong. Nothing but love. That's what we do here. Tampa Bay Sports Show, which, again, does not have a radio station, does not have a TV station. That's why I call this the evolution of sports talk television, and I will bang the desk. I will prove myself any way I can. I will stand this show up to anybody else in the Tampa Bay community. I will stand this show up to anybody in the national scene and tell you that it's just as good or better. I believe in that. And I believe in you. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's okay. We don't need the stations. I love the radio station. I love the TV station. I work for both. But the fact of the matter that you guys should be inspired by not only this show, but Mr. Paul himself, and he's able to create that, to create your own way. And people that are watching this show, because I know, I talk from the heart and I'm real about this. So let me be real for a moment, like I always am on this show. No matter what you're doing right now, keep on doing it because you love to do it. No matter how many failures are in your life, continue to keep on moving forward. And just know that when you watch this show, when you contribute with the comments, it means a lot to me because it validates the decision that I made to, create the evolution of sports talk television. Thank you. Read the comments. All right. Well, I'm reading them. YouTubers are taking over. Dave, Mike Tyson doesn't do gimmicks. Rob, Derek Brooks is the best Buccaneer of all time. Good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Can't disagree with you on that. I really can't. I love Derek Brooks, but I made the case. You could definitely make the case that Mike Evans could be the greatest Buccaneer of all time. Maybe he is the greatest Buccaneer of all time when all said and done. Does anybody remember George Foreman? I believe he fought a real boxer and he was 55 or so. Yes. Yes. Anything is possible. Absolutely. Sure. Jared, Mike Tyson got paid to tattoo his face. I don't think he'll take $10 million to get KO'd by Jake Paul. Mike Tyson has already sold his soul. If you want to bet Tyson beats Jake Paul, DM me. No way Tyson wins, so wager me if you're dumb. Nick Berg says, yo, 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 yo. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Jeremiah says, what about Warwick Dunn? What about Warwick Dunn? Adding cornerbacks is depth. Absolutely. They did a little bit of that today, as we didn't get a really a big-time chance to talk about that. But Tavere Thomas, 1-year contract from the Texans. Pro Football Focus grades here, and this is according to, of course, Pro Football Focus and Pewter Report. 2021, 77.6 overall. 2022, 70.0 overall. And 2023, 72.2. So is he a depth guy? Is he going to be a guy that's going to challenge Christian Itzian? Possible. They also get a Bryce Hall from the Jets. So they're trying to build that depth. Are you good with Zion McCollum? Because it certainly seems like, I don't expect Todd Bowles to say anything different, but if there's a corner on the board, say a Kool-Aid McCaffrey at 26, do you draft him? Does that become the best player on the board? I'm asking you, Bucs fans. This is your show. No, he's going to F Jake up at Jared. Nick says, I've seen them both train, and I got Tyson on the money. I also had Winfield tell me to go to his house, and I ate dinner with his family. Okay, great. Didn't Warren Sapp pay that little girl's cancer treatment like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and his wife went crazy? Or was that all fake news? I never heard anything about that. I have to look that up. OT, Kanaz, yo, what's going on? Mr. Marine himself. I could actually see Jake winning this. Thank you, Marine. Appreciate you. It's not the same exact Tyson. Really, is it, guys? It's not. Ralph, thank you very much for the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Nick, again, happy Harry Chi-Town there. I guess repping Chi-Town. Thank you very much for tuning in. Jeffrey says edge, Jared versus FSU, or offensive guard Graham Barton Duke. I mean, those are the two, especially Barton. More likely he's there at 26. If he's there, does Jason Light run to the podium? Do the Bucs make that selection? Is that a big-time need? Certainly would think it is. Of course, they did pick up a couple guards here the last week, as Ben Brederson, I believe I'm pronouncing his name right, from the Giants, traded from the Ravens, 4th-round pick from Michigan. And you got Sue Ipida. Boy. Yeah. Depth pieces at this point from the Eagles. Sua Opeta. I believe that's, or Opeta. I think it's Opeta. There you go. It's late. Really, I can't. Even if it's not the same Tyson, you have to give him credit. I can't wait for it. Nick, Caleb is coming. Ron, I don't know, Nick. I'm just saying I could see Jake being able to win this unless Tyson gets in on him and gets some disabling shots. Nick, all right. Kanaz, go Bears. All right, thank you. Nick, he has that strength, that retarded strength. He's just going to keep coming. Only way he loses is by taking one of his ears. Dave, mustard, relish, and onions on hot dogs. Peter, come on, man. What are we talking about?
This guy sucks.
Why can't I have ketchup and spicy mustard on my damn hot dog? Why can I not have cheese on my hot dog? What is wrong with you guys? Tell me. Call me up on the phone lines. We'll talk hot dogs if you want to. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Definitely going to be something to watch. Absolutely. Ron laughing out there. I love it. Rob says Russell Wilson won't last as a starter. Fields will play, so they know to pay him or release him in 2025. Tulio, the Steelers will play Russell for the minimum of 52% of the snaps unless he gets injured to make sure they don't give away a fourth. That's exactly what I think.
Oh, yeah.
Bulletproof to 2. Okay. Tyson is going to knock Paul out. All right. Ron, crazy. The Steelers grabbed 2 quarterbacks. They did, and traded Pickett for more than the Bears got for Fields. Make some sense of that. I can't. Kind of a bold move nabbing Wilson and Fields. Absolutely, Ron. Paul, Colin Kaepernick should be the new quarterback of the Chicago Bears. I feel it in my heart. Paul, I think you're trolling me. I know you're trolling me. Let's go out to Mr. Scott here. Marchant. I'm a huge fan of the Buccaneers. Mr. Leroy Selman, after pausing tonight to break down Derek Brooks' total resume, it's clearly changed my mind and it's convinced me as of 2024 that double nickel is the number one Buccaneer of all time. Mike Evans is certainly at the top 5 already. Great comment. Well thought. Let's go out to Tom here. Name the last famous Chicago legend to paint his fingernails. Dennis Rodman, Just Win Baby. And of course, some wrestling influence there. Because who could forget, during the finals, Dennis Rodman is participating in the NWO gimmick with Hulk Hogan. And Phil Jackson and the team are trying to find him. And sure enough, he shows up and they eventually win a championship. So no harm, no foul, but good stuff there. Publicity paint their nails. Publicly paint their nails. I guess that's what he's saying. Okay. Okay. I'm not reading that. Nick, thank you. Shout out. Absolutely. Tom, they moved up, traded a drunk Irishman to take Fields. It was the last shot Pace and Nagy had before getting axed. Roger says, I won't donate because Pete puts ketchup on his hot dog. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Greek Ikes are in the house. Tom, Warwick Dunn was as soft as a Chicago dog soaked for 7 years. And come on, man. Warwick Dunn, soft? No. Now, I understand, Tom, why you're so salty, if you will, so petty, if you will, because one of the longest runs in Buccaneer history, and Mr. Warwick Dunn was against who? Oh, the Chicago Bears. Yes, I understand it. Peyton Bradshaw, Aikman, Eli, Plunkett, and Elway, only number 1 quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. So see, there you go. Peyton, Bradshaw, Aikman, Eli, Plunkett, and Elway. So it's not 2 quarterbacks. It's more than that. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. Palmer. Did Palmer win Palmer win a he didn't win a Super Bowl. Harbaugh. Yeah. Harbaugh again. Christopher Cole, Burrow, and Manning. Burrow didn't win a Super Bowl. Too much ketchup, Pete. Not to answer spoon-fed. Jim, I'm watching a great show. Happy birthday, Miss Greek. Yes, happy birthday. All right, let's go out to Roger Shue. No turnbuckle talk tonight. No, that'll be on Wednesday night as we come back here. So we'll definitely talk wrestling with you. Hey, boys, what's going on? Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Trump and Greek. Okay, Mike, the greatest Buccaneer is Mike Alstott. End of story. Why, Mike, is he the greatest Buccaneer of all time? I need some answers. Expound on that, please. Bucs win 9 this season. Wow, that's kind of an improvement. I think you deserve the air horn on that. What do you say, like 4 or 5 last year? Now you're saying 9. I think you're starting to become a Bucs fan here, Roger. I think we're starting to rub off on you, the Tampa Bay sports fan. Dave says, if Trask wasn't a Gator, half of the Bucs fans would be so against him. No one knows what he really is. We keep on going back to this. The Buccaneers have told you how they feel about him. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe I'll get a chance. If Baker gets hurt, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen. But Baker's a starting quarterback. We'll see what happens in the future. I would say on the field, Mike Evans has surpassed Derek Brooks because Brooks had a Hall of Famers around him on that defense. Mike had a plethora, if I'm saying it right, of quarterbacks throwing it to him and still managed to get 1,000 yards every year. Good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Say it right. Dave says Greek, DoorDash, Mr. Williams, his wings. Harry, DoorDash this guy some wings. Scott, again, read that. So thank you very much for that comment. Of course, getting on my page. And also, I love St. Pete. Appreciate that. Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim. What the hell is the matter with you?
Can Mike Evans be the best player on this team? Mr. Defense, my pick is Derek Brooks or Rondé Barber for the defense touchdown, but greatest Buccaneer of all time. I threw it out there tonight. Is Mike Evans the greatest Buccaneer of all time? And here's the reasons. Here's the reasons why. Because more than likely, eventually, he's going to surpass Jerry Rice. If he has the 1,000-yard receiving this year and the year after, he surpasses Jerry Rice, who's considered one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Not only the greatest wide receiver of all time, maybe one of the greatest NFL players of all time. Furthermore, Evans has been able to do that without a consistent quarterback. He didn't have Brady for all those years. Furthermore, look at how much stuff he does, not only on the field consistently, but off the field with charity in the community. And then, if that wasn't enough, all the restructures that he's done for this organization. How many players do multiple restructures to give their team that flexibility to stay competitive and go for not only playoff appearances, division titles, but also a Super Bowl? I'm just saying. All right, let's go out there to Dave. Off the field, Mike Evans has a lot more years to catch up with what Derek Brooks has done for the community. I love Derek Brooks. Love him. Love double nickel. FSU Seminole. Definitely think he's, if not the greatest Buccaneer of all time, one of the greatest Buccaneers of all time. But I think Evans is definitely in that conversation. This guy's Irish. Scott, I agree with Mr. Williams. We need to get Mike Edwards, the pie man, back from those Chiefs. Well, it wasn't Mike Edwards. I think you said Mike Evans. And I don't think they're interested in getting back Mike Edwards. But we'll see, Scott. Thanks a lot for the comment, as always.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Shue says, greatest Chidi Ahana too. Thank you, Tribal Troll.
Acknowledge me.
Thomas and Hall at cornerback signings. Thoughts? It's good for depth purposes. Hall could definitely be a sleeper. Could definitely be productive. Could show something. Jason Light obviously likes him. And you get him and Whitehead from that Jets secondary. So we'll see if he could stay healthy, if he gets the opportunity. But right now, could be a good move, shrewd move. And they really like Thomas. They really like him. They liked him last year. And they couldn't get him. So let's go out to Jim. And Mike Evans is still playing Peter Blake. Let him finish his career first. Okay, fair enough. I'm just throwing it out there. That's all. Throwing it against the wall. See if you guys would reciprocate, if you will. Leo word, if I'm saying that right. Reciprocate. All right, go Mike Tyson. Zach Mitchell right there. He's so much younger and quicker than Tyson. Do you really think this will be a fair fight? Money on Jake Paul. I like it. Thank you, Mr. Zach. The Lightning playing well. Big time win over the Florida stinking Panthers on Saturday. How about that? Huh? I expected calls from you, Mr. Mitchell, on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I expected calls from Alex tonight on the Tampa Bay Rays. And I know, predominantly we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this show. We could have some Rays talk. We could have some Lightning talk, of course. Are the Bucs going to get along or get a lot of good players in the draft? Colin, I definitely think they're going to try. They're going to definitely have the picks to do that. They're going to have the extra ammunition, if you will, with the third-round pick they acquired from the Lions. And Jason Light, and once again, that brain trust knows what they're doing. So just sit back and enjoy the show. This show is 1,000 times better than any radio or TV show because of Peter and actually interacting with the fan. I love the fans. I mean, this is what I envision. When I started this show at the radio station and it was 1,000 watts and we had nobody calling in and we had to create these characters, and I always talk about Rich from Clearwater and the reason why that vehicle was created because we didn't have any callers. So we had to create callers, and we gave the callers the opportunity to call in twice. And we used to give them the walk-up music. And damn it, I would do the walk-up music if it was not for copyright on Facebook or YouTube. But I am monetized now, so I have to mind my P's and Q's. But I love that. I love interacting with the Tampa Bay sports fan. Sean, the sports don, loved interacting with the sports fan. This is what this was built on. This is what this show was all about. Whether it's one person watching, 10 people watching, 100 people watching, 1,000 people watching, 10,000 people watching, 100,000 people watching, 1 million, which is the goal of this show, it doesn't matter. We're always going to interact with you because you mean something and you are the lifeblood of this show. That's why I opened up the phone lines as always. 727-255 0391. It's 727-255-0391. That pumps me up. Let's go out to Mike, Rick Hughes, and that dude suck. Jim, okay. Didn't get a chance to call in tonight at work training someone. What are you training them on? You're watching this show and you're trying to train someone. Priorities, my friend, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Jim.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
Read my comment. I did. Thank you very much for getting me into trouble. No love, no. no drama to them. They do what they do, and we do what we do. And it's totally different. And it's never been the same ever since I've been a part of that platform, and they know it. So I have no ill will for them. It was great to be a part of that platform. And now we're doing our own thing here on I Love St. Pete. And, of course, the evolution of sports talk television. I got to start watching wrestling again so I can start watching Turnbuckle Talk and know what's going on. Dave, exactly. You need to start watching wrestling again. The Rock is back. Roman Reigns, of course, being a title holder for the last 2 years. Universal title holder, facing Cody Rhodes, who is the son of Dusty. Dusty has never been able to have the heavyweight title in WWE history. It's a great storyline. And then on top of it, they have a tag team match going on at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. You got to start watching. Yes. I thought you said to make it to, you said to make Super Bowl first overall picks. Well, first quarterback, number one drafted to win a Super Bowl. I think that was the question. I hate calling one player the greatest Buck of all time. We have so many great players. They were great on the field and off. We are lucky to have so many. Security work. Very nice. All right. Good stuff, man. Keep on doing it. Great show, brother. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. Of Crew Life. We definitely got to get together with the Crew boys. I had a great time there at Riveters. Let's make it happen. Again, with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. We're over 2 hours. Appreciate all the guests, all the calls tonight. Once again, the Tampa Bay sports fan, the sports fan in general makes this show. You are the lifeblood. If I don't have you, we don't have any show. Yes, I could sit here and talk for 2 hours by myself, but I'd rather talk to you, and you're always welcome. Thanks a lot to Rock Riley for coming on. Of course, the Rock Stops Here podcast, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Please like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Tell your friends there's a new sports talk show without all the radio station and without all the TV station. Give to Facebook stars if you like the content. Give to YouTube chats. And 3 things. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. So here they are. Scream them out. You ready? Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you on Wednesday night on the evolution of sports talk television.